World War II was over. The United States, Britain, and Soviet Union went on to discuss the New World Order, and this is how it happened.
Whoa, man, that was a close war. For real, bro, you was like, bow, bow, and they're like, bing, bing, and then you came in with the big stick and were like, bah. At the top of the New World Order. I'll get the Western half, and y'all get the Eastern half.
I like that plan. I can finally spray communism.
Hold up. I want y'all to have free and fair elections, that's all.
What's the point of that? There's no corruption.
Shut up, you commie.
Shut up. We done. We done. We're not friends.
This is how the Soviet Union decided to set up Eastern Europe. Like this.
Alright, so it's time to set up the eastern half. Communists, 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 communists.
Sorry to interrupt. I think all countries should be communist.
Alright, thank you, random soldier.
Wait, hold up. Didn't the U.S. and Britain want us to have free and fair elections?
You're fired. Get out. Actually, kill him.
Winston Churchill gave his Iron Curtain speech.
A shadow has fallen upon the scene so lately lighted by the Allied victory. From Stettin to the Baltic, in the Adriatic, an Iron Curtain has descended across the continents.
All hail Churchill.
All hail Churchill.
And that was that. During World War II, the Soviet Union and Britain occupied Iran, but the United Nations wanted to change that.
Alright boys, I occupied the southern half of Iran, but I think I'm gonna head out now because they're weird and all they scream is a hookah bookah.
I think I'm gonna just stay in the northern half of Iran.
All in favor of kicking them out of Iran?
Thus, the Soviet Union being kicked out of Iran. While the Soviet Union was leaving Iran, Truman gave a speech.
Communism is evil, bad, and unfair. We, the United States, will do everything in our power to contain the spread of it.
Thus, the start of the Cold War. The United States saw that communism was spreading, so they came up with the Marshall Plan.
Oh, hey man, I really love these economic aids, especially after this war.
What you mean, son? You surrendered when Germany barely touched you.
Hey, Bulgaria, you want some economic aid?
You know I want to, but I can't.
Western Europe was developing faster than Eastern Europe. Stalin set up Cominform and Comecon, and they failed. So in Berlin, this pretty much happened.
I don't like how your economy is doing better than mine. We're gonna block you from getting food.
Alright, you wire that out.
I hate you.
After World War II, Korea was divided on the 38th parallel. The North was backed by the Soviet Union, while the South was backed by the United States. The North pushed the South, but then the South pushed the North all the way back to China. With China's threat of 1 million soldiers, they pushed them all the way back. Pretty much they're at the 30th parallel now, but MacArthur really wanted to nuke them.
Nuke them?
No,
Why not?
because I said so.
Please?
You're fired.
The United States wanted to use nukes, but China scared them. Dwight Eisenhower became president, Stalin died, and was replaced with Nikita Khrushchev.
Hello, citizens of the great Soviet Union. Y'all know how Stalin killed about like 1 million people, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was about pretty stupid. Oh! Yeah, seriously surprised? Alright, whatever. So I'm going to de-Stalinize the area. Because he was pretty trash, just saying. I also want y'all to be happy, but like not too happy.
Boo!
Okay, appreciate that. So I'm going to allow new freedoms now. That's about it.
On his quest to de-Stalinize the Soviet Union, he changed Stalingrad to Volgograd, and he also took down multiple uprisings such as the East German uprising, the Hungarian uprising, and the Polish uprising, but he allowed some reforms. The United States was getting really scared. People were starting to get accused of being communists for no reason, thus the Red Scare.
You're on your phone. You're a communist. Hey, you're flying the plane. You're a communist. And you're African American. That spells communist. What is this?
I don't know. Basketball?
You really think I'm stupid?
Yeah.
Okay.
Come on.
I don't like
Tensions rose when allegedly the Soviet Union had more weapons of mass destruction than the United States. And the Soviet Union came up with the Warsaw Pact, which pretty much made its occupied territories become like some type of allies with them, and if they don't agree, then they get invaded. Simple as that.
the Warsaw Pact is making everybody happy. Alright, there you go. Alright.
You need to leave West Berlin now, or it's gonna be up there and stuck there.
All right, come on then. Listen, West Berlin is for us. East Berlin is for you.
East Berlin is for me.
Well, the Soviet Union decided to take that to heart. They decided to build a wall between East and West Berlin so they could keep their people in from preventing people from seeing the prosperity of the West. Simple.
Okay, so hear me out. Let's build a wall. But not just any kind of wall. A great wall to keep the East Berliners in.
That sounds cool.
Free and fair.
Well, Kennedy didn't like that, so Kennedy brought up his tanks, and the Soviet Union did the same, and there was a standoff. But they eventually decided to back up because they were not about that life.
You know, keep that finger on your
Any pizza?
What's on?
So you know how we both know, like America, you know, like we should, like, yeah, you know, like put them bombs on my land and threaten them.
That sounds cool. We might as well do that.
And rip, slap, slap.
Yeah.
Well, with missiles in Cuba, the United States decided to blockade all Soviet Union ships from going into Cuba.
Are you a communist ship?
Yeah. I mean, no.
Hey, you are. You just say yeah.
I said no.
No, you say yeah. She said maybe. She
Back
can't
up.
lie right.
Back up.
Well, war was about to begin, but the United States and the Soviet Union finally came to their senses.
If you take the missiles out of Turkey, I'm gonna take them out of Cuba.
That's a good idea.
I don't think we need to be fighting because there's too much money being wasted.
Yo, no. Y'all really don't need to be fighting.
Well, LBJ died of a heart attack. Vice President Richard Nixon became president. Nixon and Khrushchev signed the first SALT Treaty, but Nixon was very, very corrupt. Once he was exposed because of the Watergate scandal, he decided to resign before getting impeached. And this is how we interpret it.
I officially resign.
Yeah.
I did poop.
I'm Gerald Ford, and as the first act of president, I'm pardoning Nixon. Y'all supposed to boo.
Big stick. Big stick.
After that, Khrushchev and Ford signed SALT too. You'd think the Cold War would be over by now, but it wasn't. Ronald Reagan became president, and this man was super crazy. He called the Soviet Union evil, like an evil empire. Communism is great. So when Reagan went super crazy on defense, it made the Soviet Union think that they were preparing for war. So the Soviet Union got 2 more leaders, but then Gorbachev became the leader in 1985, and things got better.
Guys, come on, guys.
Yo, what's going on? That's funny.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Alright. Alright, boys. I occupied the southern half of Iran, but I think I'm gonna head on now because they're weird. They just have everybody running around with suicide vests.
You're ready. All right. Shh. Again, go.
As the first act of my presidency, I am resigning. Wait.
Pardoning.
Go.
Dude, stop.
So, Okay, that's my cheese. That's literally all.
That's what there's more.
Oh,
I'm telling you, guys.
I just have to go take my clip. I have to go.
come on, why not?
I love these economic aids right after this war.
Shut up. You surrendered when Germany barely touched you.
It's me.
That's a good idea.
Alright.
I didn't do it.
That was him. Alright, for real.
You ready? Let's.
Come on, bro.
Just say no.
Just say no.
Just say no.
Just say no.
Alright, there we go. For real. Watch out.
It wasn't even him. It was
You want to?
No. You need it. You want to?
No.
Lance Snoop them.
No.
Why not?
Oh, we're supposed to read it.
We're done. We're not friends.
Yeah, that was the end of the clip.
Redo. Come on.
Alright, you video this time?
No.
Go, bro.
Oh.